Today we are going to be talking about repentant terrorists. Repentant terrorist. Who is a repentant terrorist? You see, it is only in Nigeria you see a government of the state use the word repentant for terrorists. It is only in Nigeria. In Nigeria controlled by the Fulani. Fulani are the ones involved in terrorism. I've said this before. When you go to northern Nigeria, you see the Hausas, maybe they are doing shoe cobblers, selling fruits, farming and all have you. The Fulanis, what are the occupations they mostly get into? Just like Kano State. Kano State is an Hausa state. But the first 5 persons ruling that state are Fulani. So Fulani, they have taken over the political, the economic systems of northern Nigeria, especially those that are Hausa. Now, they take over the economic and they are also the ones involved in terrorizing the Nigerian state. When you look at all these terrorist groups, you see the Fulani are major amongst this terrorist group. So when Malafia was saying that the sponsors of Boko Haram are in the government, so these sponsors, however, find a way to coin that word, repentant terrorists, and use it to make sure that they give a safe landing for their brothers. A politician once said that this Boko Haram, they are our freedom fighters. So they are using that repentant terrorism word, yeah, to create a safe landing for their people. Because I've never heard of it. America will tell you that we don't negotiate with terrorists. But Nigeria finds a way to negotiate with these guys by saying we are rehabilitating, we are doing this. You rehabilitate somebody that have shed blood upon blood upon blood upon blood. Somebody that has an aim. What is the aim of Boko Haram? Boko Haram wants to take over territories in northern Nigeria. And it is similar to that of Uthman Dan Fodio. It is in another guise. That's why when I say hunters in southern Nigeria, I laugh. You see, these people, they use different system, different gimmicks, manipulative, use different style to penetrate you. They will sit down and be doing meeting to look for a way to penetrate your bushes, penetrate your communities, and dominate you. So those in power, the Fulani in power, and those in the army, if you go into the army, the Northerners are more in the army. Southerners these days are no longer wanting to join the army. The other time, somebody came to the Southeast and is begging Southeasterners to join the army. Looking at the conditions of this Nigerian army recruitment and all have you, and the elements that have been reinstalled back into the army, brought into the army, repentant Boko Haram that filled our army left, right, center. You think that these Southerners will want to join the Nigerian army? Looking at it, seems like it is the language they speak there is like a northern arm of, like the army is like the army of the Northerners. It does not look like Southern. That's why when Lagbaja was no more, Tinubu made sure that he fixes his own brother there. Because all these stupid politics of nepotism and all have you, the Northerners are the ones that have been propagating it for years. When you go to the military, you see them. Favoritism, nepotism. When you go to DSS, you see them. When you go to immigration, you see them. When you go to, I don't know, everywhere, you see them. Everywhere they have prominence. They are the ones that have sown this seed of nepotism. And most of them are crying foul that Tinubu is Yorubanizing. A Fulani came out and said, Yoruba-led federal government. That is Erufai. So these people, they carefully know what they are doing, using repentant terrorism to forgive their brothers and give them safe landing through the back door. And all Southerners, all the House of Rep, all the senators will sit down and the army will prefer solutions such as, let us rehabilitate this guy, let us do this and bring them back into the society. Reintegrate, yes, back into the society. And our Southern representatives, they will sit down with their PhD and with their years of experience, and they will think that repentant terrorists will solve the insecurity in northern Nigeria, and even enlisting some of these guys into the army. Our certain senators and House of Rep members, our certain leaders will sit down and use their brain, if their brain is even working, and support the motion, not fight against that, what the army is doing. Because if the army refuses, they will refuse to fund them. Because it is the federal government that funds that program, supported by the house, whether the upper or lower house. So certain leaders will be there, open their eyes, and this disgrace will be passed on. Repentant Boko Haram. Okay, since you have been using the word repentant Boko Haram, you have been using the program. How have we fared when it comes to insecurity in northern Nigeria? Under this Tinubu regime, we have a new terrorist organization, Lakurawa, piloted by the Fulanis. I don't know which group of Fulanis, but I know the rat inside the house is the one that will show the rat outside where that fish is. So let me read this. I want to read this from a northerner. I want you to listen very well. A northerner. It is not me that said it. The entire repentant terrorist pardon or amnesty is simply the craftiness with which the patrons of these Islamists or these terrorists guarantee them safety and immunity from being eliminated or facing the weight of justice. So what this northerner is saying, that this word repentant terrorist is what they coined. The patrons of these people, these bandits, these killers, they coined that word repentant terrorists to use that thing to make them escape being eliminated or facing the weight of justice. And we call ourselves that this Nigeria will work, whereby our military is being infiltrated by repentant Boko Haram terrorists. See, America, they catch you as a terrorist, they give you the capital punishment, whether it is life imprisonment or whatsoever. They will give it to you. It's just like catching an Osama bin Laden. And the Osama bin Laden, they say, we have a program, Osama bin Laden, repentant terrorists. Repentant terrorists. You go through that program maybe 6 months to 1 year. They feed you, they give you clothes, after they now enlist you into the government. I've said it before. Does the Nigerian government have the capacity to rehabilitate criminals? Go and look at our prisons. Look at what is happening in our prisons. Somebody will enter prison, will come back a hardened person. As a young man, I fought somebody. I went to fetch water. I dropped my gallon. I went to play football and I came back. All the people we came together, they had fetched their water. So after the person fetching, I told the person, I'm the next person. I want to tell you how I got into, they locked me up in cell. And whilst I got into that cell, it was not a correctional facility for me. I went there and I came out like, I'm a strong man. My heart, as young as I was, my heart was still hardened. I was in my final year in secondary school, SS3. I fought with the lady that harassed me. I put my gallon, say I'm the next person. The lady kicked it out. It resulted to a fight. I never knew the boyfriend of the lady is a police, so she used that influence and used police to arrest me. I got to station. I went in and I came out a hardened person. So does Nigerian government have the capacity to rehabilitate even their fellow citizens that are not killers? Not to talk of people that will carry, that are trained killers, that are trained that have sworn oaths, that have gone through different processes to harden their heart, to kill people, displace people, and terrorize the country, take over communities and local governments, like the governor of Borno State said. How would such a person be rehabilitated by the Nigerian government? You have tried this program and it has not worked, and you still continue. I told you the other time, Yobe State in the north is rehabilitating its own people, its own Boko Haram, because I believe that the Boko Haram is an integral part of northern Nigeria. These people support what Boko Haram is doing. That's why the death of Deborah, some people will see it different than the death of those Uromi Hausa people. You see the mentality. You see how we reason and see things in Nigeria of today. And you are telling me this system is going to work. So these people are using this as a way of protecting. As a politician won't put it, these people are our field soldiers. These people are our freedom fighters. Boko Haram, they are somebody else's freedom fighters. Let me continue with what this Northern is saying. I have always maintained that incentivizing terrorism, especially the reintegration part, is not a blunder as such on the side of the Nigerian authorities, but another deliberate phase of a grand plan. When we have less Southerners in our Nigerian army, it will be difficult for us to push for some things. Let us sit down and think about it. If we don't have really Southerners in our Nigerian army, it is easier for the North to use the army with their grand plan and their agenda. You see, they are making the army look, what word would I use? Uninteresting for Southerners to join. I'm telling you, usually it should be, if Boko Haram is in the northern part of Nigeria, they deploy Southerners. If people are causing problem in the southern part of Nigeria, they deploy Northerners. But still, it is the same Northerners that you are deploying because we don't have that enough Southern interest in joining the Nigerian army. So they make it look uninteresting. And what is the proposition? What is the solution? Is to still bring the the Boko Haram that is killing soldiers. You see, people will be in the army. Those that kill their fellow colleagues will be now enlisted and join the army with them, and will be fighting side by side. What is the message you are sending to the Nigerian people? People that are thinking with their brain, with their faculty. What is the message you are sending to the Nigerian people? We know that politically they are there. Political terrorists, they are there. We are seeing what they are doing. Economically, they are there. We see what they are doing. You see, Niger Delta and other southern communities have oil. But how many people own this oil well? The same people. I heard the Sultan of Sokoto has a lot of oil well. While the Sokoto that he is sitting, if you are ranking HGI, economic development, facilities, attracting foreign investment, where would Sokoto be placed? But you have a Sultan of Sokoto there, representing what? But you are owning oil wells. You cannot use those funds to better the lives of your Sokoto people. You have an agenda. We know you have an agenda, and most of these politicians, they just pretend as if nothing is happening. Maybe they believe that the Fulani cannot overrun Nigeria. They believe so. That is how the Turkish people believe then. Iran, you are seeing now, we have liberalization. It was a civil society until these Islamic terrorists took over. Look at Britain. Some people who are immigrants are coming to enforce their laws in British towns, and they are gaining grounds. And you Nigerians, you will sit down there and say the Fulani cannot overrun. We all know the stories. You see, one thing about this leadership is that these southern people, when they go there, they just get carried away. They don't stick to the purpose. But these Fulani guys, whether they are rich or they are poor, they are sticking to their agenda. Whatever you will take them to lay low, to patiently pretend and carry out their activities, they will take that sacrifice. They will pay the price. But southern politicians, they will just go there. Just yesterday, the entourage of Kano State investigators, the deputy governor and his fellow people came into Edo State, welcomed by the Edo State governor, so that they will come and investigate the killings. What are you investigating? We have asked different questions. You have so many wildlife in the northern part of Nigeria, but you are leaving northern Nigeria. You are coming into southern Nigeria to hunt. Okay, some people said they were going back for the Salah celebration. Where were they coming from? Were they coming from northern Nigeria? Is it not the same southern Nigeria? if we want to make a case like they were going back for Salah celebration, they were heading towards north. My problem is, from whence thou comest out from? From whence thou comest out from with all these guns? And you are transporting yourself. You are transporting yourself in a Dangote truck. Dangote, Mr. Man, you use your truck for Dangote cement and Dangote products. You even put a caveat that if this truck carries anything that is other than Dangote product, the person should be finalized. Nobody's looking at that. But your Dangote truck, you know very well, they are using it to carry people. Don't you think that there will be suspicion of illegality? And looking at the behavior of these Northerners, most of them are uncultured. Any little thing, they don't care, they don't want to listen. They just believe that what they think is right, even if they are wrong. They can stab you for something that they are wrong over. Come to southern part of Nigeria, you see what I'm talking about. Somebody is driving a bike and mistakenly hits somebody. That person, out of frustration and anger, hits the Okada person back. You will see that before you know, 20 of these Northerners will gather you. They don't want to know what happens. They are not interested in whether their brothers are fought. They are interested in making sure that they will cause trouble if you are going to exert your right on that Northerner. They don't want to care. So their behavioral pattern, if you have caught them and you see guns, you expect that these Northerners will behave in a certain way whereby there will be attacks. If you are being suspected of a thing, there's a way you present yourself. There's a cultured manner you present yourself that you will not be further attacked. But you trust these Northerners. They have a way of behaving that they will escalate the whole situation. We heard that one of the hunters attacked a vigilante. And the Edo State governor took away the guns of these vigilante people. Last 3 days, this vigilante, they were protesting, saying that the governor has taken away their weapons. What does the governor want them to do? Not to protect the people anymore. Various incidents of Fulani or Northerners kidnapping people yet. But still, if you go to northern Nigeria, most people don't really see any wrong in what not the Fulanis are doing in southern Nigeria, killing people in the Hamufu, Ondo state. They will not condemn it till tomorrow, and they will now say they are going to pray. They are religious people. They are this and that. Well, we deceive ourselves a lot in this Nigeria. We are a bunch of, let me not use this word because it pains me a lot. It pains me a lot. So these our people are using repentant terrorism to push an agenda, to save their people. To save their people. That's what they are using. But one thing they don't know is that Nigeria is moving towards an end. And then this system must be changed. That's why I said Tinubu has to do what he can do. See, if you are trying to play the kind of politics like Nigeria will change, Nigeria is this or that, my brother, tell yourself the truth. Even the Bible says, in the last days, perilous times shall come. It shall not get any better. The Bible, God, that we are reading, in the last days. And you're trying to deceive yourself, like, with these people, the same mentality they have is the same mentality their elites have. With these people and their mentality, you think that we can get a Nigeria that is prosperous. Something is allowed, we are one Nigeria. Some things is allowed in a certain place, some things is not allowed in a certain place. How is that one Nigeria? Some persons cannot be able to do one or two things in a certain place. Some persons would be allowed. How is it one Nigeria? So if you are thinking that Nigeria is going to work under this current circumstance, you're just deceiving yourself. Look at what's happening in the south here. You're having Igbo, Yoruba, having this banter. Yoruba don't know, doing this and that and everything. It's somehow disgusting. But I understand that there's an agenda. Everybody has their agenda and they are pushing towards that agenda. We are not going to stop anybody from pushing their agenda. The governor of Lagos State gave the best graduating student, LASU, Lagos State University, 10 million naira. She happens to be an Igbo girl. Wow. She happens to be what? An Igbo girl. Even the second best graduating student, an Igbo boy. people started making ethnic remarks, tribal remarks about the governor giving Lasso, a student a Lasso, 10 million naira, which the governor have been doing for different times, at different points in time. Somebody now went to Unilag and said the best graduating PhD student in Unilag is a Yoruba person, and the governor did not give so person such money. And I was now looking at it. I said, okay, Unilag is a federal, it's from the federal government. It's a federal university, not a state university. Tinubu should attend to that person. But because this person is Igbo, you are now remembering that you are, see, they know this person is Igbo, they will now be searching for which university. Let's see which one Yoruba come out, so that we can use that to push an agenda. With this kind of agenda, with this kind of relationship we are having with Igbo and Yoruba, do you think that Nigeria can work? That's the question. Do you think some people, they lose their humanity because of tribe? If you lose your humanity because of tribe, you're an animal now. If you lose your humanity because you are playing tribal, you're a bigot, or you're playing tribal sentiment or ethnicity, if you lose your humanity, you're an animal. Nothing short of that. Whether you're Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, you're an animal if you lose your humanity. First, humanity comes first. This lady, Igbo or not, in fact, the conducive environment of this Yoruba state helped her do one or two things. She also had a personal, yes, she put her effort personally also, we understand. But at least, the governor should not be crucified because she's an Igbo person. She has not played any ethnic. May God help these Nigerians. May God help Nigerians.